Today's episode of Success Story has a hero, a very special hero. The man of Egypt who changed the face of the world with an invention. Hatem Zaghlul is the first to put the mode of connecting electronic devices and in passing it in a vertical image. With Michel Fatouche, they created the invention of technology, crossed capitalism after only 20 minutes, and they established a company called WLAN, not Wi-Fi. Hatem Zaghlul studied engineering at Cairo University in Giza and obtained his degree in 1979. He also studied sports at Ain Shams University. He then worked for Schlumberger International Oil Exploration Company from 1981 to 1983 as an engineer specializing in oil well gauges. He worked as an assistant teacher at the University of Calgary, the largest city in the Canadian state of Alberta, from 1984 to 1989. He obtained a master's degree in physics from the same university in 1985. He worked as a teacher of statistics at the University of Athabasca from 1988 to 1990. Worked as a researcher at the company TELUS Canadian Telecom from 1989 to 1993.
I mean, as much as I like Wi-Fi, as much as I hate it, everybody's using it, nobody's going to listen to me, so. And I came here feeling a little young, now I feel very old. Someone says he graduated in 88 and he feels old. I graduated in 79. Someone says she had a toy that she pulled the string off, to make sounds. I made the sounds when I was young. I was the youngest, so I was always playing the Indian, and I always lost.
Dr. Zaghlul has received international awards and certifications, including the Father Milner Casgrain Pinnacle Award for his entrepreneurial achievements, as well as the Calgary Award for Excellence of Business Area in 1998, and has been recognized as a Canadian Computer Wholesaler Magazine Technical Excellence in July 1999. To Ernst & Young Entrepreneur Award finalists in 1997 and 1998. Named Calgarian of the Year for the year 2000 by Calgary Magazine. Dr. Hatem Zaghlul established WLAN in 1992 with Dr. Michel Fatouche in Canada to turn these inventions into commercial products. The company was listed on the stock exchange in 1999 and has won international awards, including the 1998 ASTAC Award for Best Small Business, the 1993 EIAA Award, the 2003 WEMI Award from the International Communication Union, as well as the Excellence Award from Alberta Venture Magazine in 2004.
When I graduated electrical engineering, I did a master's and a PhD in electromagnetics, and after that I got hired by the phone company, and they were moving from 1G. I don't believe 1G came to Morocco in cellular phones. That was analog phones, and they wanted to move to 2G, so they asked me what's the best technology we could use for 2G. Of course, I didn't know anything about communications at that time, so I hired a friend of mine. His name was Michel Fatouche, and he was also Egyptian, and we were studying together in Cairo. So he did the coding and modulation part for me, and I did the propagation part. And we realized that out of the 6 proposed technologies, GSM and a predecessor to it, IS-54, were the best technologies, and we recommended that to the phone company, and they were the first to launch 2G in the world. But we realized that there were problems with the communications, and we tried to solve them. We invented something called the phase estimator, which reduced the irreducible bit error rates. Irreducible meant it could not be reduced, but we reduced it, and a company, Rockwell, asked us to put it in a device, and we tried, and it, in theory, it improved the communications by about 1,000 times, meaning for a signal that was 1,000 times weaker, you get the same communications, same errors. But it didn't work. It only improved it about 1.5 times. And the reason for that was that telephones themselves were not designed properly, or were designed with the parts that were available at the time. The crystals were not very accurate. Everything was not right. And engineers, by training, if you find a problem, you go to the book and find the solution and use it, and kept adding coding and modulation and all kinds of complicated things.
Besides WLAN, Dr. Zaghloul co-founded another group of technology companies such as Celloc, NTG Clarity, QCC Wireless Inc., and also he received awards. He received the Fraser Milner Casgreen Award from the 2000 Pinnacle Awards for his achievements in the field of project management. And Dr. Zaghloul also reached to the Ernst & Young Entrepreneurship Award final. As for his nominations, he was awarded the Broadband Solutions Hall of Fame on April 10th of the year 2000 for his contribution to the communications technology industry. He's a recipient of the Calgary Distinguished Immigrant Entrepreneur Award in 1998. Canadian Computer Dealers named him a technically excellent Canadian in July 1999. He was chosen by Maclean magazine as one of the 10 great Canadians in July 2000. Dr. Zaghloul founded Celloc in 1995, which became Celloc Location Technologies Inc. in 2003, based on his collaboration with Dr. Fatouche at Ultra Accuracy, an existing developer of range of positioning products on the social networks of the mobile network.
Michel told me that he learned of another technology called OFDM, and that he wants to talk to me about it, and I refused. I said, I've wasted enough time on your devices. I'm a phone company. I need to do services. In any case, he threatened me that our friendship is over if we don't sit and talk about this. I sat with him for half an hour, listened to OFDM, and I loved it. It's a technology where in FM transmission, you use a channel 98.2. The next channel must be 98.4, which is 200 kilohertz apart. The FM communications only needs 50 kilohertz. The reason you leave 150 extra is in case the crystals move and you don't want one channel to spill over the next channel. In OFDM, you give all the available channels to a single user. So this problem is gone. So at least there is 3 times as much communications or 4 times as much communications. In reality, you get 10 times more. So it's a very, very good technology. Of course, I saw the beauty of it straight away, and I, did some changes, and I, helped invent what's called wideband OFDM. Wideband OFDM is the technology used in the 11G A and N standards, which is the Wi-Fi of today. It's also used in the 4G in its entirety. The entire 4G standard, the WiMAX standard, was written by ourselves. Of course, the IEEE, the 802.16 did a lot of work on it, but the head of the chair of the committee and everybody else, many of his helpers were from WLAN. The actual name WiMAX is a name that was a variation of WLAN, our company, and when the WiMAX forum got started, 3 of its members were WLAN. 2 subsidiaries of WLAN, and Nokia and Ensemble were the founders of the WiMAX forum, and we stayed the chair of it till 2006, I believe.
In 2005, his friend Dr. Sayed Amr Al-Ahmasi co-founded the technology marketing company for innovative products for Life Inc. The first product of this company was a commercial blender accessory that removes fat from fried foods, and this device has acquired technology patent. Innovative Products for Life Inc. Over the years, Zaghloul has served on the board of directors of companies NTG Clarity Inc. from 1997 to 2001, Imaging Dynamics from 2000 to 2001, PowerStar International Inc. and Solutre Corp. during 2007-2008, QCC Technologies from 1999 to 2001, and IPL Media Technologies Inc. from 2009 to the present. IPL Media was founded in 2005 by Hatem Zaghlul in Alberta, Canada, as a publishing and web design agency. The company covers our remote area operating out of Calgary, Alberta, Bucharest, and Romania office, as he says. Zaghlul has been mentioned in online transcription over the past decade. Dr. Zaghlul was named one of the 10 great Canadians by Maclean magazine in 2000 and was named Calgary by Calgary Business in 2000. Dr. Zaghlul indicated that since he presented the idea, he explained that it will change the world at all levels, including the ease of communication, as well as its great effects on work fields, as we are communicating through WhatsApp and social media, in addition to facilitating the field of work, as we are now able to work from any region and anywhere in the world. Regarding the spread of technology, Dr. Zaghlul said that the invention was made in 1991 and spread strongly in 2003. As for Wi-Fi areas, Zaghlul explained that the Wi-Fi has created many fields such as online selling, multimedia, Netflix, and recently metaverse technology, all of which we would not have reached or even thought of having it, never not been for Wi-Fi that succeeded in changing lives, especially after opening the doors of Web3 and crypto. On a personal level, he confirmed that the invention inspired him a lot, and he still expects to develop a greater invention as it raised its financial level significantly, cryptocurrency.
3G was more of an accident. The day we filed the patent on Wi-Fi or on the WOFDM, I told Michel that I wanted to include security. I wanted to add some level of security into the device, and Michel didn't want it. So I phoned the lawyer behind his back and I told him, just add a line, please, in the patent. And we added a line whereby we multiplied the signal before it went into a Fourier transform times a random complex numbers that had a unity amplitude. In any case, about 6 months later, someone had convinced us that we were not going to get anywhere until we started a company and built prototypes. We had emulated the product, so OFDM was fully functional to us. We had sent it over the air and received it, and we were communicating, but not real time because processors were not fast enough then. So 6 months later, I hired my first employee. I would call him employee zero because someone else was paying his salary for a few months. Employee zero was a computer scientist, and I asked him to simulate what Michel had done because now we're in a company and we need to be sure of everything. He simulated it and told me out of all possible frames. Now let's get this. We used 8 bits per symbol, and we had 64 symbols. So you can imagine how many combinations of data there was. He said there are 6 frames out of all the possible frames that will not make it through.
Dr. Zaghlul said that half of the world currently does not have communications due to the high prices of networks. Dr. Zaghlul seeks to reduce the cost of 4G But many companies have refused to license the price, and the doctor is currently working on building communication networks in developing countries so that 4G networks are at great distances. This technology will be 10 times cheaper than 4G technology, which will be longer than manufactured in developed countries with fewer towers and lower costs. He added that the project will be financed by the digital currency he created called Votera, whereby the proceeds of its sales can be used to build advanced communication networks in poor countries. The returns and profits of the cryptocurrency can benefit in lifting millions of individuals out of poverty in Africa by providing their access to the internet, increasing their productivity and creating market opportunities to sell their products. He expected Votera's share of the digital currency market to reach 30% within 10 years, especially as it saves electricity consumption and avoids environmental damage. He stressed that all the currency's revenue will be built through which communication networks in the region that do not currently have networks, such as Chad, Niger, and Central Africa, especially information communications, and the profits generated from these networks will be invested in building other networks. He pointed out that there are more than 850 million Africans who do not have any mobile contact with the world. This represents more than half of the people of the continent. We want to enable them to communicate, he says, and offer them services, raise their productivity, enable them to access market opportunities which will help raise the level of their livelihood. And he pointed out that those 850 million Africans need desperately mobile contact with the world to raise their productivity, enable them to access market opportunities, which will help raise the standard of living.
The Arab world is losing a lot of money on patents and so on. It's real. I had retired in 2008, came back at the beginning of this year because two of my friends, one was Michel Fattouche, who's my partner all through my life, and another friend, Said Amr al-Hamamsi, had invented a technology that is related to the Internet of Things, and it's basically a Wi-Fi router that talks to other Wi-Fi routers. Many people have that, but theirs is intelligent. So if one router in the middle fails, immediately it finds another route and heals itself. And they have patents on it and everything. So that's a phenomenal technology. Just to give you an idea, 1 gigabyte of data costs the phone company, the mobile company, about 10 units, and in 3G. In 4G, it's about 4 units, 3.75 exactly. In Wi-Fi, it's 1 unit. In Wi-Fi with this mesh technology, it's half a unit. So communications is going to be much cheaper. You're not going to get it first. Of course, the phone company is using the savings to increase their profits right now, but later you're going to see it with the help of big companies, and we're working very hard to lower the costs of communication so everybody gets access, and more people use the internet and have access to information. And my target is really to help the Arabs and this region of the world to be more in the innovative side. I tell you a very sad statistic. Addresses from the Arab world filed 70 patents in the US in 2010. Israel alone filed 130. So it's a very disproportionate number. Not because of lack of innovation, it's because of lack of interest. So my message is, file, protect your intellectual property, open source is open source, but your idea is your idea when, in certain things, and you've got to file for it. I personally help people do that.
And Dr. Hatem still is going on, working very hard in order to help humanity with his own inventions.